Well, yeah, another episode of Northeast Happy Hour with Predmore and Mearns. Thank you for joining us, Facebookers, social media lights. I guess that's seems to be the term we're using. We appreciate each and every one of you, Gary. We were just talking about this, man. We had over 1,400 views last week.
Yeah, it's great, man. People
yeah,
tuning
dude.
in.
This is awesome. Good. So, again, Gary just informed me this is the first time we are live on YouTube as well. Yeah. So, YouTube, Facebook, share it away, hit subscribe. I think that's how they do that, right? The YouTubers. Hit subscribe button. Yeah. So we've got a couple of really awesome youngsters on the show here tonight, and of course, one is Derrick McGrew Jr. and an up and coming modified racer. Now, Gary, again, I'm going to need your hand. Need a hand with this one, man. You're probably a little more familiar with these guys.
Yeah, I've been following this kid since. I mean, he's still young, but I've been following him. His kid he's good, man, for as young as he is.
Yeah. So this is the one he drives the number 26, right? Modified.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
So all right. Yeah. So I did see some highlights on him, and prior to the way I look here, I do a little bit of homework prior to this.
Yeah, he races with the big boys too, and he's not afraid to mix it up. So it'd be good talking to him.
All right, so whenever you're ready, again, everybody, thank you for sharing, thank you for liking, thank you for watching us. We're just a couple of race car fans, and we're doing this from our home out of the. Just for the love of the sport, and we appreciate everybody watching, and it's amazing, dude. It's awesome. This is really cool what's going on here. This is
bigger
cool.
And bigger every week too.
Yeah,
cool.
Dude, this is awesome. All right, without further adu, let's bring in the young hot shoe, Mr. Derrick McGrew Jr. Derrick, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks, guys, for having me.
Yeah, no worries. Let's get right to it. Now, I did a little bit of homework on you. I know that you're running the Big Block Modified, right? Big Block Modified, and you just got back from Speed Week, so you're still down there. What's going on?
We ended up just getting back. We went down to South Carolina first, hit the Lakeview Motor Speedway race down there with the crate car, and then came from there and went down to a.
No, he's good, man. Come on in.
And then we went down to Florida, down in Volusia, and we ran the whole weekend down there, and then we left there, went back to Mooresville, down to Earl Ringer Race Engines to help out there for the week, and after that, we just got back last night, so definitely an awesome time we had down there racing, though.
Nice. Now, you say the crate car. Explain to me what you mean by that. When you say crate, I'm thinking sportsman.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Okay.
That was the race we ended up hitting. We really wanted to support our buddy Scott Tripp down there at Lakeview, and awesome facility they have there, awesome show. And great racing, so definitely went down there to support them. So it was awesome.
No, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm wrong quite a bit, especially according to my wife. You took a nasty little ride down there here recently, yeah?
Yeah, we just hopped the cushion down. It was at Volusia. I think it was the first night. Just got over the cushion a little bit and got into the wall. The cushion was so big that when it hit the wall, I mean, I kind of just rode up on it a little bit and it kind of just tucked the left front under and just rolled the car over.
Yeah. So it looked like a lot of that. It looked like a lot of that was going on down there during Speed Weeks. Was it just the track was heavy, or was it just they just had one heck of a berm?
Yeah, it was that first night. I mean, we ran before the late models, so that track was really the cushion there was really heavy. So, but I mean, I just made a mistake. Definitely learned from it. That didn't happen again that weekend. Really had a couple good runs.
Yeah, so that's good, right? Everything's good. Just the cobwebs got knocked out a little bit. Other than that, you're good to go, right?
Yep.
All right, nice. So for those of you that are just tuning in, we have Derrick McGrew Jr. here, Big Block Modified youngster, up-and-comer, and just got back from Speed Weeks. Derrick, tell us a little bit about your racing history. How did you get involved in racing? And let's talk a little bit about that. How'd you get involved?
My dad always raced for, I'm not really sure when he started, but my dad raced for ever since I was born. And when I turned 4, I ended up getting into the go-karts down at our local track down in Boston Spa, and I ran there for, I think, a year, and then we started traveling a little more to a couple more tracks every weekend, and then from there, we're doing really well, winning all over at the local tracks around, and so we decided to go national racing down south, and from there we traveled there every single weekend. We were down in some state down south, North Carolina, Virginia, Georgia, somewhere down there at all the national races, and we just were just racing as much as we possibly could down there. And from there, we moved up to the slingshots for 1 year down at Glen Ridge and ran that for 1 season, and really was doing good in those. And then they told me we can move up to the sportsman cars, so we decided to do it. My dad thought just go out there and make some laps, and we'll learn. Definitely be able to start young, and we'll be really good in a couple of years and have all the experience. And out of nowhere, we started winning races, and that just changed his mind. So we couldn't just go out there and run laps. And from there, we started, like I said, traveling to more tracks and doing as much races as we could. And then that past year, we moved up to big blocks and at Albany Saratoga Speedway. And halfway through the season, our motor blew up, so that really wasn't the best. And we put a smaller motor in there, but it just wasn't cut it for the tracks we were at. We needed that bigger motor. And we ended up running a couple small crate races at the end of the year. And this year we got hooked up with Earl Remy Race Engines. Great guy. Awesome business. He's just I say the best of the best out there. He's down in located in Mooresville, North Carolina. He does late model engines, UMP engines, anything you really want. And luckily we were able to get hooked up with Earl, great guy, and get our motor back in the car.
So you started racing at 4 years old, and how old are you now?
I'm 13 now.
13. So it's still killing me, Gary, man. These guys, they yeah, dude, they're getting younger and younger. It's awesome.
And
I mean, I didn't actually
wheeling big blocks.
Yeah, dude, I didn't actually start wheeling a car till I was 17, and man, that's awesome. It's amazing. That's good stuff. So where do you normally where do you normally race? Where's your normal Friday night, Saturday night track? Are you running a couple of times a week or?
Yeah, our Friday night track is Albany Saratoga Speedway. That's been my home track since I moved up. We're not really sure our schedule this year yet. We'll probably come out with one soon. But Albany Saratoga is usually my home track on Friday nights, and like I said, we'll come out with the schedule soon. I'm not really sure our Saturday nights or anything else yet, but we have that ready soon.
And Albany Saratoga, man, you race there, you're racing against the best, no doubt. There.
Yeah.
Sure, they have that's the best that you can possibly find down in the Northeast.
Yeah, absolutely.
So out of all the tracks that you raced at, what would you say is one of your favorite tracks? What's the one track you really love to race at?
I'm gonna say Charlotte. Charlotte's really fun at the World Finals. That's awesome. I haven't got the chance to run there in the big block yet, but I ran there in the crate car, and we ended up having some, like I said, really good runs down there. I think we had a 10th place finish and a 3rd place finish. So, and that was just so cool the experience down there. And this past year we went down to Louisiana with a small block and the Arcotech Speedway at the Short Track Super Series race, and that track was really cool too.
Yeah, nice. I mean, just out there, yeah, with the best of the business out there, especially Albany Saratoga. What a great facility! I want to say Howie Commander owns that place, right? And yeah, we had a chance to go up there a few years ago. And so, out of all the racing that you've done, I mean, obviously, you've parked yourself in Victory Lane quite a few times. What would you say was the most memorable moment that you had in racing?
As of right now, it's probably it was one of my, I think, first or second wins at Albany Saratoga Speedway in the crate car. I didn't really think I was going to win this race. We came out of 4 on the last lap, and the leader had a couple car lengths on me, and there was really no way of catching him. And something happened. He broke right before the finish line, and I didn't know where to go. Went to the outside and hopped his right rear tire and drove over his car and won the race. It was crazy.
Yeah. So I'm looking at somebody just popping in, and actually, I'm glad that he said something. Jimmer J on here. He mentioned that you were down there wheeling a late model. Now let's talk a little bit about that. I did see the highlights of that. You running a couple of laps. Talk about the late model. Was it a full blown 800 horsepower deal, or what was that?
Yeah, that was a full blown super late model. I was lucky to get the chance to run that down at Lakeview Speedway. Thank you to Willie Milliken and to all his guys and Mason Price and just everybody that helps him out. That was just awesome.
So was it just a hey, here, try this out, or was it a maybe something in the future that might be in your future?
Yeah, like I said, just like you said, something in the future, probably gonna get into soon. So,
okay.
We'll let you guys know when we know.
Yeah. So with with the big block modified ride and all that stuff, are you driving for somebody, or does your family own the car? Explain just a little bit about how that's working for you.
The big block car is owned by my dad. It's just us and all of our sponsors. We couldn't do without all of them, and that's how we race.
And what kind of chassis are you running? Because I know some of the open wheel guys, man, they got to know what it is. So what do you got underneath the seat there?
We have one DCAM and one McNell car as of right now.
Okay. And what do you think how's the difference between the two chassis? Which one are you preferring more, or does it depend on where you're going?
It really doesn't matter. They're both really, really great cars. Like I said, whatever we have ready. I mean, I think we're gonna be switching back to a chassis here soon. But like I said, they're both great cars.
Awesome. So, and then here's something that I guess is starting to become a little bit popular with some of our questions. But out of all the races that you could possibly win in your career, other than the Daytona 500, what is the one race that you would really, really like to win?
It's hard to think of a race that I know. I mean, I'd be really cool to be able to win like a Lucas Oil late model series race or the Chili Bowl.
See, that's the second week in a row we've heard the Chili Bowl. I'll tell you, and you know what? It's and I still love it, Gary. It's awesome, and Derrick, and these guys, nobody's, you take Daytona 500 out of the picture, man, and it just brings you right back to grassroots racing. And of course, that's the Chili Bowl and all that other stuff. Yeah. Derrick, is this something that you want to do full time for a living, or is it just right now it's a hobby? But if you had a full time ride, you'd take somebody up on that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's what I want to do. We work hard at it, and say hopefully someday it pays off, and say I want to be able to race for a living. That's what I want to do. I enjoy it so much.
Nice.
Very smart too.
Yeah.
Are you going to are you going to make the trip to Delaware?
Bristol?
There? No, Delaware. The Super Series race coming up. The short track Super Series race. You're gonna go there? Cool.
Yeah,
so what about they do have Bristol Motor Speedway coming up? You guys any plans on making it out there? That seems to be the race to be at this year.
Oh yeah, we definitely have some plans. We as of right now, like I said, we should be going to those races.
Nice.
We are planning.
Yeah, awesome, unbelievable. That's great.
Yeah, he puts the miles down. Yeah, Georgetown. Somebody just corrected. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah. So do you obviously you had talked about the short track Super Series, of course, with Brett Deo, one of the you can't even say up and comer promoter anymore. I mean, because he is, one of the top promoters now. What about the dirt car series? Plan on hitting any of those races? Are you points racing this year? Tell us a little bit about what you're going to be doing here for 2021.
It's hard to say right now. We got some things we're working out with a couple people about what we're going to be doing. So I think we'll definitely be posting something soon here about our schedule and what we'll be doing.
Okay. So I just saw on here, Jeff Christopher just popped in, Gary, and he says Bristol's invitational only. I didn't know that. I thought it was open to any team.
Yeah, I thought that's what it was too. I just read that.
Yeah.
So that kind of takes away a little bit.
Did you guys get invited there?
I'm not really sure. That's why I said we're planning on going right now. But if anything changes, I'm not sure. I'm not sure yet.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, that's crazy that they would make it invitational like that.
Yeah.
So I have to ask Derrick. I always ask everybody about the Hoosiers and the American racers. You obviously you racing more on Hoosiers, but what's your feeling on either or?
Oh, they're both great tires, but like you had to go to a race and it was open tire. You'd probably definitely go with the American racer. You just get so much of a softer tire. You get so much more bite, and it's faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Even I mean, we're full fender guys, but we're not putting down the horsepower that you guys are. But I always found the American Racer to last a little bit longer, and for us, we had a couple of different choices. You had a hard and a soft. But I mean, I'm still running on a set of American Racers I bought 4 years ago. When we hit Accord Speedway and stuff like that, and I don't know, I just find them to be a really good tire.
See, the old man chimed in there. Says we're chasing the dirt car points. So
Okay.
there you go.
So apparently, so your dad's telling you right now exactly what it is that you're doing. So it's funny that your dad that brings it up. That brings me up to the next question. What are some of the rules that you have to maintain as far as grades in school, chores, stuff like that? What is it that you have to do on your end in order to keep racing?
Right now, this year I ended up getting homeschooled. Like I said, we've been put on so many miles. Just to do regular school is so hard because we miss so much, and the teachers don't really like that. So it's just so much easier for us to do homeschool, and I ended up getting homeschooled this year. But yeah, I got to keep up with my schoolwork.
Nice. Just looking at his 150 wins and 10 championships at kart. So so according to Randy Hotailing, 150 wins, 10 championships, and what is this? And won't the Kids Royal and won the Kids Royal in Australia? You been to Australia?
Yeah, back in 2017, we got invited over to Australia to be able to run the Kids Royal down there, and we were able to pick up the win down there. So that was really, really amazing.
So what is that? What's the Kids Royal? What was it that you were racing there? Is that a go-kart or is that
Yeah, that was their go-karts down there. They invited me down over there, and yeah, it was I'd say one of the biggest go-kart races they have down there.
Right.
Damn, that's cool. Damn.
Yeah, so I had a chance years ago to sit and talk with Peter Britton a little bit too. Pete's a pretty big name in dirt racing in Australia. He's from Brisbane, Australia, and when I was in the military, we actually we spent a little bit of time there, and a really, really great place, great people, and they love their dirt track racing.
Oh yeah. I think his brother Kevin races over there too.
Yeah. So do you see yourself? I mean, right now, you're talking big block modified. See yourself in a sprint car or anything like that, and anything in the future, or are you just looking, whatever opportunities come your way, you're looking to jump into that seat?
Like I said, I think soon we'll probably be hopping into a late model here soon. But anything comes our way or anybody want me to drive for them, any kind of car, you can definitely take the opportunity.
Awesome.
Definitely never going to turn it down, that's for sure.
Yeah, man. All right, so anybody just joining the show right now, of course, we are first time live here on YouTube and also on Facebook, social media, stuff like that. We're here with Derrick McGrew Jr. and recently just moved up to the Big Block Modifieds, just got back from what do they call it? Speed Weeks down in Florida. I believe that's North Florida, right? Volusia Speedway and all that other good stuff. You went down south a little bit too. And Derrick, I'll tell you, you got one heck of a bright future in front of you. And I think just the fact that you're willing to accept the fact that you made a mistake and want to put that car on its roof and stuff like that, and then you're learning from it. And somebody even at 13 years of age, I mean, that's just really impressive. Yeah. Your thought process, and listen, it's not always somebody else's fault. You're willing to take a little bit of responsibility for mistakes that you made. So it's just absolutely awesome. With the future that you guys have. So again, out of all the racing and everything that you've ever won, I mean, what do you think your most memorable moment in racing was, or has been so far?
I'd say back, I think it was my first season in the crate car down at Albany Saratoga Speedway. I was running the rookie sports. It was in the rookie sportsman. They were coming to the checkered flag, and I didn't think I was able to beat the guy in first. He was a couple car lengths ahead of me when we came out of turn 4, and he broke. And I had nowhere to go, and turned right and drove over his right rear tire and drove over his car to be able to win the race. So that was pretty awesome. And,
yeah. So Yeah. Out of all the guys that you've been racing with so far, who's some of the guys you really like to race with? Who's some of the guys? You know, a lot of the bigger names. These guys, you know, they helping you out with stuff, or are they just kind of you're on your own, or how's that working for you?
No, a lot of the guys like to give me pointers and stuff, but one person, especially Stuart Friesen, I love to race with Stu. You see, he wins all over. He wins almost every race, and he's definitely really, really great driver. And he comes over to the trailer a lot and helps us out with some setup stuff, and just give me a lot of pointers, help me learn.
That's cool. And I remember when you made that jump to the big block. I mean, everybody sees it on social media. The adversity, you know, people were putting you down, you know, saying you shouldn't be in it. But listen, I've been watching you since you started, man, and I was one that always said that jump is not too much for you, and it's showing now. I mean, it's good that you overcame that adversity of people, you know.
Yeah, I don't really focus on those people. It doesn't really matter to me.
Yeah.
They can think what they want to think.
Well, you know, like we've said before, the sportsmen really aren't that much different from, you know, the small blocks and modifieds anymore. You know, the sportsman is almost running competitive with the small blocks, depending on where you go.
Tracks, yeah,
you know,
yeah.
The sportsman with the small block, track it really slick. The sportsman definitely has some sort of shot with the small block, but crate motor to a big block, I'd say probably like 700-800 horsepower difference.
Yeah, especially at Orange County, the crates and the small blocks, they always try to. And some nights when that track is like that, you know, them crate cars can go. Have you ran Orange County?
Yeah, well, this year we ended up going to Eastern States with small block. It was my first time there, and definitely a different kind of racetrack there. The track was kind of one lane on the bottom. You could move around, but we didn't end up making the show there. So, but definitely had a great time.
Yeah, it's a lot different now with the new surface too. You know, compared to what it was. It's a lot more racier now than what it was.
Yeah, I've only been there one time.
But I mean, you're racing at Albany, Saratoga. That place is just pristine, man. That place is between that and Bridgeport, probably best racing around here. You know, you ever been to Bridgeport?
No, I actually can't go to Bridgeport. It's down in New Jersey, so they're like strict, no exceptions on their age, so I can't run there. But it looks like an awesome track. I've seen races there.
Yeah, I forgot about the age limit in Jersey.
Yeah, what is the age limit over there?
I think it's 16. I'm not sure.
16. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're real strict with that stuff too. Because they're run by the state troopers down there. The tracks are run by the state police.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
All right. So, again, we've Derrick McGrew Jr. here on the show with us. And, Derrick, we appreciate you being on here. And let's talk about some of your sponsors here for 2021. And so who you got on board with you guys here this year?
What do you say? Sorry.
Who do you have on board as far as sponsorship goes here for 2021?
This year we have CQC Auto Sales, BDP Paving, Elevation Construction, Andy Champagne Builders, Hot Traction Creative, Profab Headers, Andrew Garris, Earl Ramey Race Engines, Earl and all the guys, Mitchell, Robbie, all back at the shop, all great guys down there. Can't thank them enough. Outpace Race Products, Daniel Sanchez, IRS, Alliance Race Supply, Jeremy Conaway, Randy Keene, PFC Brakes, and SRI Performance. Randy helps us out as much as he possibly can, and I definitely really appreciate it. And all of our sponsors. I'm sorry if I forget any of you guys. You guys know who you are. Everybody out there, help us out in any way. We really, really appreciate it, and I can't thank you guys enough. Helps us out. And Kyle Zinski, he came on board back on board with us this year. He helped us out a couple years ago down in the go-karts, and he kind of took off and tried to make his business bigger, and he definitely helps us so much. He came back on board with us this year, and he was down at Speed Weeks with us. He works his butt off on the car, and he'll do anything to help me. I just can't. Him and his wife, just awesome people.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good stuff. Derrick, we appreciate you being on the show with us, and we definitely want to get you back on here maybe in the middle of the season or so and see how things are going for you.
Yeah, definitely. I'd love to come back on the show, guys. Thank you.
Right,
no worries.
Man. Thank you. All right, so I think we got Kyle. All right, Derrick, we'll catch you on the rebound, buddy.
All right. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Thanks, man. Okay, Derrick McGrew Jr. I'll tell you, he's got the life, man.
He puts down some miles too this past
month.
Every time I try to hit him up, he was always in another state somewhere doing something, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, these guys are going everywhere, man. It's
awesome to be that young, and to be able to do that, It's great. All right, so we got Kyle on here. Let me just bring him on. All right, ready? All right. Kyle, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, yeah. It's coming in nice. So, Kyle Demetro, right? Did I say that right?
That's right, and
awesome.
Congratulations, because most people don't.
See, listen, being a track announcer for over 20 years, man, you learn how to enunciate a little bit. Kyle, man, thanks for joining us. I don't think we've ever met. I'm Joel Mearns, of course, Gary Predmore, Happy Hour, Northeast Happy Hour, Predmore and Mearns. And, dude, man, it's awesome having you on here. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. It's been growing like crazy pretty quickly for you guys, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I was like, I got to reach out, see if they got a spot,
dude.
It's
awesome.
Every week it gets bigger and bigger. It's cool.
That's right. That's good.
Yeah. A couple of fans of racing, and we're both full fender guys. I'm still a racer myself, and but I'll tell you, if you watch anymore, a lot of us guys are still on our trailers watching, you open wheel guys. So let's jump right into it, man. How did you get involved with racing, and what is it that you're driving these days? And tell us a little bit about yourself.
So it's kind of a funny story. I didn't grow up in a racing family. My dad and I, we went to Utica Speedway just as fans, and to be honest, I didn't even know you could just buy a race car and start racing. I thought you needed like a license or something. So long story short, I was going to go to college for sports management. My dad and I were driving down Route 81, heading down to Binghamton, and we stopped at a rest stop, and there was a brochure for Alfred State Motorsports Technology Program and a race car on it. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. So I convinced my parents for us to go tour, and they were not really fans of this whole idea. But we went to Alfred. I met Tom Tabor, the professor there, fell in love with the program, told them I'm going there. They're freaking out because I can't even change my own oil. So it was like...
Listen, you don't need to be a mechanic to drive a car, man. Just ask Tony Gearhead.
Yeah, exactly. So, but ended up working out. I graduated Dean's List, and my senior year, I met my best friend now, Andrew Ferguson. He runs Big Block Modifieds. He now moved down to 358s. He was like, "Hey, why don't you get a car?" And I was like, "Really? You can just do that?" He's like, "Yeah, if you got the money, go buy one." So I did, and it was interesting to say the least. I started from the bottom of the barrel. The car was junk. And my truck was junk, and it took a long way to get to where I am now.
Don't you hate friends like that?
Well, actually, no. I told him how much I'm willing to spend, and he was like, "Look, this is about all you're gonna be able to get."
He had the same look on his face that I do right now. We went,
exactly.
Yeah.
So, but hey, you got to start somewhere, I'm pretty happy to be how far I've come. We used to, my novice, when I started out novice at Fulton, to leave the track, I had this old 1995 pickup, and it was missing teeth on the flywheel. So I used to every night get under there with a ratchet, and I'd be moving that engine over to find some teeth, start it, fire it up, and drive out.
Wow.
So I went from that an illegal open trailer to an old 2001 Bicknell to, I got 2018 Bicknell now. I did run Sportsman for a while now. I'm in 358, so it's been quite the journey.
Yeah, nice. Listen, I think some of us are still running illegal trailers, and we've been doing this crap for over 20 years.
I know. I got a 28-foot enclosed trailer, and I ain't saying anything else.
Listen, there's duct tape and zip ties on that part of the license plate for a reason. You need to leave that alone.
Exactly. Hey, the license plate says 2021 on it. Okay,
I'm just saying.
That's
just because the registration weight says 125 pounds, I don't know what to tell you. It's all aluminum.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I don't know. so are you primarily running Utica Rome, or are you guys traveling around a little bit? I don't mean to sound I know the name, but I just we want everybody else to to learn where it is that you normally race, and what some of your accomplishments have been.
Yeah, so when I started out novice sportsman at Fulton. My first race I won, very first race out. There's only 2 cars on the track, but hey, it's still
wins a win, brother. Wins a win.
The second race, the second week, I won again, and I think there was like 11 cars, so that's a little better. So I ran 8 total novice races. I moved right up. My first race was actually at Can-Am with the regular sportsman. It was a big show, and back then, when I started, I've been racing out 10 years. The great sportsman class was you can only run Bilstein shocks, steel wheels, small Hoosier tires. The rules have definitely changed for that class. And so I barely qualified the 40 cars. They started 30, and it was pretty cool because they put everyone on the front stretch and did announcing. And, I'm so new to the sport. I never experienced anything like that. So tell you what, everyone was one lane, and I didn't know any better. So I was like, I'll just take the outside if everyone's going to be on the bottom. And I drove all the way up to 11th. And American racers are so soft, and I had old junk tires that I think Andrew gave to me or something. I blew right front, went in, we changed it, went out 3 laps later. That tire went flat again. My spare, I don't have a spare, so I take my Ferg's spare right front. I go out, my left rear goes flat. It was a whole mess, and after 3 tire changes, I ended up finishing, I think it was like 16th, so it was still a pretty cool experience. Yeah, exactly. I think there was more than 16 cars on the track, but it was a long time to remember. So after that, it turned into this deal where I was funding myself, and my dad had a lot of interest, and he wasn't there to like financially support me, but he knew marketing really well. He's been a salesman for 30 years. He's like, if you want to try and do this legit, you need to get better equipment. You need to, start marketing yourself. So I did, and I ended up landing, a very good sponsor for 2 years with the American National Gas Association. And I traveled all over the place. I did trade shows and all kinds of stuff. I got to go to the Race 101 driver development program. They used to be like a NASCAR kind of late model program down in North Carolina. I test an asphalt super late model, a pro truck. The Super Cup class I tested with Brent Cross, a guy that's down in like the Tully area. So during that time, I did a lot of stuff, and I actually didn't race a ton because I was trying to impress a sponsor. So it was like great because it got us a trailer, it got us stuff we needed to like grow. But it was definitely a learning experience going from like Orange County one night and then going all the way to Penn Can and then up to Can-Am just to make the sponsor happy that really they just wanted me to give them exposure. They could care less what I did on the track. It turned to me getting frustrated that the result wasn't happening on the track. So long story short, we lost that sponsor, and I actually took the year off, and I ran a blank car at Glenridge in 2014. We stuck it all, just us, my dad, my crew guys, and we ended up finishing 4th in points. I got my first ever regular sportsman win. I led the whole thing, and you guys probably know Rocky Warner. He was coming. He started last, and he was coming, man. And the announcer in the background, he's like, Rocky's coming. He's like, I don't know. Kyle's driving as fast as he can. And I just held on and got that win. So that's pretty cool, And I actually, again, after that season, I took a year off. My wife and I, we bought a house, and, we started learning, like, priorities and everything. But then I jumped. Exactly. I'm 29 now, so, you go from Derrick, 13 to me. So I ran Sportsman for a couple more years, and to be honest, it turned into a deal of, there wasn't much money to move up the Spec 358 class, especially with Fulton, Can-Am, other tracks starting to adapt that class instead of big blocks. It made it more affordable, and I think, especially with the purse that they give out, my first year was 2019. It didn't really go exactly how we wanted. We didn't have a great motor, but we were pretty decently quick. I was really happy. We went to Utica. I started 24th. I finished 12th, against all these modified guys that I've never ran against before. But we went to Weed Sport, tried to run with the big blocks, and I blew up my engine. It was the 5th race I ever in a 358. I blew up my engine and, budget. I had to sit out. And then the pandemic came, so I just made the decision to sit out and just regroup. So now we're going full force next year. We got 2 motors, plans to run Fulton 358 weekly, and hit some special shows.
Yeah, I always found it tough, when you're trying to, you always want to experience a new racetrack, but it's tough when you don't run there all the time to get the setup right, to get everything right.
Yep.
And I always said, listen, you put me on a racetrack, let me get 4 or 5 good weeks, let us get the car working, and I'm telling you, I can win.
Exactly.
And so I can kind of understand the frustration, bouncing around, and sometimes, you got to do, what the sponsors want you to do, and that's frustrating too. So, so for 2021, I mean, you had said that, you guys are going to run the 358 and stuff. Did you pick up a sponsor, or is it just more you guys are taking care of this yourselves now? Like, tell us a little bit about what you got going on this season.
So, the extra year kind of helped. I did drive a couple of my buddy's Sportsman cars just to keep my feet wet. But I'm telling you what, once you go to a modified and then you try to run someone else's Sportsman, it's like watching paint dry. It's no offense to Sportsman guys, but it is. And Derrick will probably, attest to that. But no, one of my longtime crew members, and he was a high school friend, Lance Nelson. He reached out to me and he was like, "Hey, I'd like to help more. Instead of just being a crew member, I'd like to put into the team because he sees my potential and." He knows what I can afford and what I can do. And he's like, well, if I can double that, we can have a pretty good deal. So Lance came on board, and actually I'm wearing it right now. Demetro Nelson Motorsports. That's kind of announcement. Nice. Haven't really told anyone yet. So this is like the official that Lance, one of my, he's probably, I'm telling you right now, he's watching this and he's
awesome.
Finally. So he joined forces with me, and we've been able. So we have a 2018 Bicknell, but like pretty much everything is brand new on the car. We got one good power plant built by Doneth Motorworks. Brian is an awesome engine builder. He does great crate work stuff. But we got a motor from him, and then we were able to get another second motor. So now, if God forbid anything happens, cross my fingers, nothing. But we have a second motor, and we got pretty much a new car. We're going to have all the tires we need, shocks, all the tools, spare front end, like spare parts. Finally, for once, we'll be good to go. We'll be able to afford to run week to week. So I can run a 30 race schedule, for the first time in a while.
Well, it's funny that you say that, man. People, this is my 21st season as a driver, and I've always been a full fender guy. I'm a street stock guy, and people always say, why don't you move up? And I say, if you want to pay the bills, sure. I run what I can afford to be there to be able to spend the best, to get the most out of what I'm spending my money in. But even now, even the street stocks are $15,000 to go racing.
Oh, I'm sure.
I couldn't even imagine. What small block and modified guys are running. this year as far as, a budget. I mean, I think that's absolutely amazing. Somebody who doesn't come from a racing family. I was born into racing.
Yeah.
9 days old, I was at my first race, so,
Yep.
For what you've done and what you've accomplished, man, that's awesome. That's amazing. You actually took the, I guess, the educational way, whereas the rest of us, we kind of, we did it in our backyard. I mean, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Alfred State definitely helped a ton, learning stuff that would have taken years to learn. I was still kind of in the dark when my dad and I were trying to go out on our own, because obviously at college, they're going to tell you stuff that relates to everything, but it's putting it into use at the track is when you start to really learn it. So it took a lot of time, and to come from being the first ever racing picture of me was I was a baby, and Tommy Kinsella was holding me in Victory Lane at Utica Speedway. Because my uncle used to help him out back in the day, and then going to sitting in the stands. To be honest, I was always like a pure stock fan, like Junkyard Jet. I was always like, I love these, and then no offense, but as I got older, I was like, what was I thinking? Like modifieds are way better. But yeah, so we've come a long way. I've had some success, but I think we've hit this point, especially with Lance on board, and one of my crew guys, Harold Clausen, he's become like an awesome tire guy. He, has learned as much as he possibly can. He helps me in the shop, all week, which is huge. And then I have another crew guy, Mark, who's coming on board, and they're all going to be devoted. And I tell you what, and any team will agree to this, when it's just you and your dad, it's really hard. And then when sometimes it's just you or me and my wife, when you can get good guys, you can really build your team. So I'm really excited about this year, and I'm really excited about the future. I think we do have some sponsors this year, and I think we're going to be a force to reckon with. I can promise you that.
Nice. I think that's the hardest part is getting good help to the track.
Exactly.
That's the hardest thing to to get people.
Yeah, and a lot of these guys out there that want to help, you gotta understand that unless you're, Shepherd or one of those other guys, it's tough for us to be able to pay your way in every week. We can feed you. Well, I'll buy you a Little Caesars pizza, and maybe a 12-pack, but it's, and my two guys, they're awesome with that. They don't care about that. They just want to see us do better, and any way that they can learn.
What is it? So what is it that you do for a living now, Kyle?
So for the last 7 years, I'm a FedEx Express courier. I deliver for FedEx.
Oh my God, you guys don't sleep. You guys, UPS, mail carriers. When do you find time to go racing?
Yeah, tell me about it. I've been dying to get a route so I can race weekly on Fridays, but I don't know if that'll ever happen. It's not too bad. I got a route now that makes it a lot easier to at least to get the car prepared during the week, but pretty much the weekends, and then I'd have to take a vacation day to race during the week, which kind of sucks, but
it's tough.
Yeah. So out of all the tracks you've been to, and it sounds like you guys have raced around quite a bit. What is one of your favorite tracks that you've raced at?
Oh man, that's a good question. Tell you what, so I'll get down.
It doesn't have to be just one, because I have a couple that I really like going to, without trying to upset any promoters. But
my favorite track that I ever raced on, and it's just is Glenridge. It's so small and it's really tight, but like I'm telling you, and a sportsman, like I'm running wide open where I would run wide open at Rolling Wheels, and I'm on a quarter mile, like flying through 3 and 4, and like the racing was so much fun. And it's a shame that they don't do as good as other tracks, like because I think the track itself is so much fun. If you go on that track once, you're gonna want to go there again. I gotta give props to Utica Rome. I personally. My best friend Andrew Ferguson's he's laughing right now because he hates the track surface. Like he just doesn't like racing there.
I love it. It's surface slick, bad. Right? It needs a new surface.
I love it. I think it's great.
Is it slick? Is it dry slick?
So recently it's had a little bit more bite, but when Gene Cole used to run it back in the day, it was glass. It was glass. But recently, like 3 and 4 held in bite, and I would just go on the top wide open. I started to figure out the track, so I really liked it. It's too bad because of rules. I probably won't be able to race there anymore. But I used to like there. And then finally, facility-wise, Weed Sport. Weed Sport is it's second to none.
Yeah.
I've had the worst luck there. I'm telling you, blown engines, bent up front ends, broken front clip. I don't think I've ever had a great finish there because I always get in something, but I always go back because I'm just like.
So are you located in what is that? That would be considered what, Central New York?
Yeah. So okay. Yep. I'm actually in Rome. Rome.
Okay.
Utica Speedway is 10 minutes for me.
Nice. Now it's my understanding that now correct me if I'm wrong. I believe Brett Deo is taking over Utica Rome. Is that true?
That is correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Listen, he's a guy to reach out to, man. I mean, if you got something and you guys really want to race there, he's very easy guy to talk to. His dad, I raced with his dad for years and years, and Brett's he's a hell of a promoter, and he's very open to to suggestions and maybe something maybe in the future with what you guys have as far as a racing package go to reach out to Brett. I'll tell you, he's again, hell of a great guy, hell of a promoter, even when he did races, down here for us and, included, the street stock guys and stuff, man, just awesome guy.
Yeah. He's doing, awesome job. He's just continuously growing, and it's awesome that, Utica Rome can continue.
That's cool.
I did hear a lot of there were buyers, but they wanted to get rid of the track. So I'm glad that, Gene Cole wanted to keep it as a racetrack, and I think they're going to do a really good job. I probably will have to talk to him because I guess I don't know enough to know if my dirt legal, non-ported spec head will be able to compete. Yeah. Maybe if it gets really dry slick there. But I've never really ran against guys with the big small blocks and stuff. So maybe he's the guy I should talk to.
Yeah, I've never been to Utica Rome. Gary, I want to say it's probably about 3 hours for us. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been up there a couple times.
So that's a bit of a ride.
It says Weedsport. I've never been to Weedsport. That's
Weedsport, absolutely gorgeous facility.
Yeah, it's awesome.
For years my dad was he was the pro stock inspector for the pro stock dirt car series for years and years when it was still Dirt Motorsports with Glenn Donnelly and all that.
Yep.
And as a kid I got to go with him. And Weedsport was one of my favorite tracks. Weedsport, Rolling Wheels was the ultimate because there was no walls other than the front stretch. And oh my God, the stuff that I would see that Danny Johnson and Brett Hearn and even Jeff Hetzler and all these guys. And, back then it was the Dembecks, Andy Dembeck. I watched him win a race up there one night and just awesome racetracks,
Oh, for sure. My first pole I ever got was at Rolling Wheels.
Yeah. and that's another track too, man. It's just I didn't even realize that the place had closed down. I had no idea up until about a year and a half, 2 years ago. I had no idea that it had shut down. So I think that it's awesome that somebody like Brett Deo can come in and take over and save another racetrack. That's unbelievable. Question I have to ask. We've been asking everybody here for the past couple of weeks, and it seems to be a really popular question. Out of all the races that you could possibly win, other than the Daytona 500, what would be the one race that you would want to win?
Oh man, that's a good question.
There's no more Syracuse, so that's out.
I know, but
listen, I'm going to say it right now. That's bullshit. Thanks, Cuomo, but it's bullshit.
Yeah, right.
Right. Yeah.
Dirt Week still is big. That would be a big deal.
But I don't see the hype going to Oswego like it used to be. For me, I mean, it's really cool, because, again, I'm a full fender guy, so I'm a little biased there, but it's cool, because Mav TV is covering the pro stock race, and it's one of those, I got a chassis, let's go up just so that I could possibly, so my kids can see me on Mav TV. Other than that, there's really, it's not like the what's the word I'm looking for? It's not like the nostalgia that Syracuse had, that dirt mile. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know.
It's all about prestige,
Exactly.
Yeah.
To be honest, I would say it would be torn between the Outlaw 200 at Fulton or I really want to just run the race is the Chili Bowl.
That's four. That's four. I knew it.
I have a good friend that I've been talking with the last couple years, and we're slowly working on something for me to eventually go there and run. Will it be equipment, like the top guys? Probably not, but I want to make it happen eventually. But yeah,
just to be there is all.
Exactly.
Let me tell you, the last year, and I tell this story all the time because listen, I'm proud of it. I think it's amazing. My friends thought I was nuts. They thought I was crazy. The last year they had Super Dirt Week at Syracuse. I'd been going to Syracuse since I was a kid, and I wanted to run the place, and I didn't care if I qualified or not. I just wanted to turn laps. I took my street stock, which was a 78 Camaro. No jack and bolts, nothing. I was 300 pounds overweight. I put a pro stock body on it with a crate motor, and I went and I ran Syracuse.
That's awesome.
He sent it.
Dude, we were not the slowest car there. We were not, and it was awesome. I pulled in from hot laps, and I was like this, and I went, guys, I'm good, man. If you guys want to go home, I'm good. But yeah, dude, I totally get it. Just to be there, just to be in that. Just to, hey, listen, I ran the Chili Bowl. How'd you do? Yeah, I was there. You know what I mean? Dude, it's awesome. Yeah, absolutely.
I was in the Z main, but I was
yeah, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, did you make it through? No, I finished last, but
and again, man, I keep saying it. This is like the third week in a row, and it just seems like, it used to be back in the day was, you wanted to run NASCAR. Dude, I want to be a NASCAR guy.
Yeah.
And not anymore, the young kids and even us old guys, man, it's just it's a short track racing, whether it be asphalt or anything like that, it's and to me that's awesome. It's a local business and they're trying to, keep that alive, and I think it's great. I don't know what NASCAR is doing wrong, but it just I don't know, nobody really seems to want to be there anymore.
Exactly. No, I agree.
That's falling off.
Yeah. Have you ever, we're from Orange County for Speedway area, Accord Speedway. Yep. You ever been down this way?
Yeah, I've ran Orange County twice, and the one time was decent. I think I finished like 10th my first time there. The second time, we had fuel line issues, and actually Tim Hinley and his crew, nicest guys ever. Yeah. I'm saying they did not have to help us at all. We knew no one down there, and he literally coming into the pits, he could hear my engine spitting, sputtering, and I think one of his main crew guys, I think his name was Mike, but I could be wrong. It's been years, and whoever his main guy was came over. Like, he brought all these carburetor tools and everything. Yeah. Ended up finding there was a tiny pinhole leak in the fuel line, and he had some of like that stretchy like garden hose wrap, and he wrapped it up, and I went out, qualified through the consi, finished like 15th, but it was just cool. That's one thing I've loved about the sport as I've slowly been into it, is just meeting all these people. It's such a community. Everyone like lives this lifestyle. It's not even a hobby. Everyone lives this lifestyle, and that's kind of where this came from, was just living the wide open lifestyle. So
Timmy, he used to work for the guy actually who does my motors and stuff, and that's Pete Matthews over at the engine shop. Yep, Timmy, great guy. He's from Monticello, New York. That's where I'm from, that area. He talked to a lot of guys that come down, and they say that about our boys over at Orange County, man. Everybody's willing to help, and that's awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
So we talked about what it is that you got going on here for 2021, and Kyle, man, I wish you nothing but the best. Did we talk about your sponsors? Who's helped paying the bills here this year? Why don't we maybe get them out there a little bit?
The name on his hat there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So basically, you'll find out when the car comes out, and I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be a car you've never seen before. I kind of went different, and the main sponsor is going to be Wide Open Clothing Company. It's something that I started. It's a lifestyle brand, basically. And it's not just dirt racing. It's all racing. It's just living that wide open lifestyle. Whether it's motocross or anything, and we just launched it, and so far it's going pretty good. I currently outsource my stuff. I'm working on doing it all myself and keeping everything, and I plan to hit some shows this year. And like I said, I'm going to be hitting all the markets. I've had the motocross industry has really latched onto it too, so I built my website myself. I do all the marketing and sales. My brother John helps me a lot with that too, but I've always
And
wanted to start a clothing brand. So
what's the name of the website?
It's www.shopwideopen.com, and we got
Garrett,
men's.
can we get that scrolling down there on the bottom?
Yeah,
Yep.
definitely.
Can we do that?
When I was young, I tried to start like a clothing like line, and back then, there wasn't Instagram even then, and I was still new, and I just went and made like I think 50 shirts, all the same color. It was called Torque. It was TORQ. Try to be cool. And I sponsored a bunch of guys for Syracuse too. I was just like throwing out money. I'm like 16 years old trying to do this, and it didn't work out at all. So it's definitely been something I always wanted to do, and I just slowly started building, getting better at it, and I hope it turns into something pretty cool and big. Obviously it's the main sponsor, but really it's still me paying for my race team. But
see, and again, we were hitting on this earlier. A lot of us, like myself, I was born into racing. So financially, I had to do it. My dad said, "Listen, I have all the knowledge in the world, but financially, you're going to do it yourself."
Exactly.
And it made you appreciate stuff a lot more. But a lot of us were born into the sport, and we were brought in by our uncles and our dads and our grandfathers, and I want to say that you again took the educational path. You went to school for it. You're like, man, this is cool. This is what I want to do. And even now with your brand and everything coming out, dude, that's awesome. That's just a different way. It's the smart way, I guess, to get involved in racing. Dude, there was a long time, man. I would go to Henry Sharp's and buy street tires just to go racing that weekend at $10 a pop, and and hope that they lasted for 15
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely.
And dude, I think it's amazing what you got going on, and we would definitely love to have you back on here later in the year and see how things are going for you guys.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. I hope the brand grows, and I hope we can get some good finishes. Our first race is going to be at Land of Legends. So April 24th, the modifieds are going to Bristol. Well, Paul Cole, he normally has big blocks as his regular class. He's stepping up, and he's going to have a big 358, dirt 358 only race while the big blocks are gone. So it's a pretty cool deal, because I don't remember last time 358s have ran there, like just a race. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I personally never raced there, so I'm excited for that. But I think it's similar to Utica Rome. I know it is size-wise. I don't know about driving. So we're at that April 24th. That'll be our first race, and
I've noticed over the past couple of years that it seems like the small blocks are really starting to make a comeback. Is it just that you think that they're a little more affordable than the modified, or what do you think's going on with that?
Yeah, I'm saying a lot of guys are gonna have different opinions, and it's. Some guys will say that when big blocks had the 23-degree motor and then they went to the 18-degree, it kind of just outspent. If you had 23-degree, you weren't going to win. There's some guys that disagree with that. So, but I think there is a cost difference, and some big block guys will say there isn't. But from my experience, my budget, there is. I'm able to run 358, and you're going to see this year. I'm telling you, there's going to be 30 plus modifieds at Fulton Speedway. I bet you, because I think a lot of guys are getting tired of the sportsman class too, especially at Fulton, that was averaging like 60 to 70 cars a week. So a lot of guys start seeing, I think a lot of these guys start seeing maybe me and like another ex-sportsman driver, Nick Kraus and Tyler Trump, like these guys move up, and, we're not, well, say for them, they're not winning every week, but like Tyler Trump got a win, Nick Kraus runs pretty good, so it makes it, like it's obtainable. So I think a lot of guys are moving up because of that, and I think you're going to see more dirt tracks switch over to 358 only.
What do you think about you have any like in firsthand knowledge, anything like the W16 motor? I mean, is it comparable to an open motor? I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
So I know the W16, it has less power than the spec 358, but I've seen some cars with a W16 run really good. I'm saying I don't know a lot about it. I know the setup is kind of cool. Like if you blow it up or something happens, like Bicknell, like send out, I think you can get like a loaner motor till you get it back. Like that's kind of a cool deal. But I know Tim Fuller crushes in them, and I've seen Maresca run good in them.
Yeah.
But I have seen some other guys that weren't a fan of it.
Right.
I personally, I have a really good relationship, with Brian Donis. To be honest, I didn't at first start with a motor from him, because if I want it from him, I want a good motor. So I just had to wait for the right time for that to happen. But I wanted to go the spec head route. I think that's the best route for me. You could find a used spec at my spare motor I spent $7,000 on, and the motor won a race, so it's probably a decent piece. But I think the W16 is a good option for some people if they want to buy something brand new to get into it.
Right, and that's what I mean, like the price comparison.
Yeah, well,
exactly.
What is the price for that?
You know what I mean?
I think it's definitely changed. I remember when they first started. I think after you bought all the bolt-ons, I think I'm just throwing this out there. It was around like 13 to 15 or something.
Close to that, yeah.
Is that a crate motor? That's a spec engine?
So it's not a crate engine. I think it's Wagner who builds the motor, but it's all one motor. Like I'm saying, you can't change anything internally. It's all built like it is a spec motor. Yeah. Just the difference with our spec motors is we can change whatever, bottom end we want to do with certain limitations, but we just have to run non-ported spec heads, intake, a specific carburetor, where that motor is literally, when you get the motor, you put on your bolt-ons and you go,
Yeah.
So but they seem to run pretty good.
Sportsman crate motors, sealed like that.
And I don't think I've ever.
That's pretty much. I mean, what I run crate motors. I could basically pull that right out and put it right into a sportsman car, go sportsman racing if I wanted to.
Yeah, that's why I asked. Like he said, Timmy Fuller ran it and did good. Maresca, some guys do well in it. I mean, for the price. If you could be competitive and run small block, and you know what I mean, at that price, that's always a plus.
Definitely, and I think a lot of it is driving style too. I know with less power, it's slick track. Someone might like that less power to keep tires on the ground. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I think with a lot of the tracks anymore, it's especially, we bring up Orange County, but the major changes that they've had there, they've slowed that place down by a second or two.
Definitely.
By taking the banking out and whatever the new surfaces that they have. Even Jerry Higbee had said, a couple of weeks ago when he was on their show for, whatever their show is there in Orange County. Even he said, going out spending $60,000 on a big block modified motor, you don't really need to do that anymore with the new surface. And I think that a lot of the tracks are starting to move towards that. They're slowing guys down, I think, to bring the price down, so that, because you had your certain 10, 15 modified guys that followed the tour, and then whoever the regulars were, they would just fill in, and I think you're starting to see the modifieds to come back now. You're starting to see more guys starting to follow the tour and more guys, starting to move in.
Yeah, definitely. Very top premier modified team. I'm not going to say names because I don't know if they'd want me to say this.
Matt Shepard?
No. They had a stopper system on their carburetor to restrict their driver at certain tracks to
traction control.
Open.
That's Matt. That's Stuart.
I saw it. It was legal. It was just a blocker. It's a steel blocker on the linkage. All legal. See, now you're gonna get me in trouble. I'm telling you.
No.
He's gonna be calling me in like 10 minutes. Like what? But no,
it was all Gary Predmore. My lips were moving, but Gary was the one saying it. So,
but yeah, it was cool to see on the carburetor and kind of set up just like in like one of the driver or the tracks. I think it was Merrittville was like one that gets really slick, and they were trying to keep because these top guys, they do have big high dollar motors with a lot of power. So.
It makes perfect sense, though.
Exactly. If you're on a track and if you're mashing, spin it, back it up 80% or whatever.
Yeah,
I've had big motors in my cars, and we were successful, we won races, but it almost seemed like the dumber I made the car, the more we won.
For sure.
I think that's the name of the game now. I think that the reason so many guys are jumping into sportsman is because it's becoming affordable. with the the crate motors and stuff like that, but I think that guys like yourself, Kyle, are even just saying, if you're going to spend that kind of money on a sportsman, you might as well go to a small block because you're going to spend almost the same amount.
Definitely if you're cool with running good, you may run great, who knows, but if you're fine with trying to be competitive in the top 10 or so, small block can be a good option. The pay is better, for an option like one of my best friends, Matt Janzik, he dominates in crates, so you might as well stay there, I don't blame him for doing that because I would too if I was winning 10 to 20 races. That makes
a big
sense.
difference there. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I think your top teams, they have found something, and of course everybody right away wants to say they're cheating, but are they? You know what I mean? They may have found something that nobody else is doing, and that's what's making them successful. We've I think Gary could
it's between their legs.
You
and big balls.
I hear you.
It's a difference.
You guys can,
especially in a crate car. I mean, you need to keep that thing wound up.
Yeah, you got to keep the momentum up for sure.
So
a few years ago, Brett Hearn took a sportsman car out, and and he won with it at Orange County. And I think it was Johnny Ilinovsky's car.
Yep.
And Brett said the only reason I did this was just to prove to you guys that you don't need to cheat these things up. I mean, Brett just, he owns Orange County, you know what I mean? He's the all-time winner there. Yep. But I think that, these guys have just found something that nobody else is doing, or they're just, you know what I mean? I mean, like you take Tanner Von Doren. I mean, and this kid is amazing. He got in somebody else's car.
Yeah, he's crushing.
Yeah.
And I never understood.
States.
I never understood. Everybody's down here. Why you guys follow? You know what I mean? I would rather finish 7th, knowing that I tried something.
That's how I am.
Than finish 3rd and follow the leader. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what these guys are doing. And I think it's awesome.
And another thing too is as I've slowly learned, is keeping it simple. I've talked to a couple big teams, and I'm when I was first raced, I was asking everyone. I know you're not supposed to do that now. Obviously, I don't do it anymore. I concentrate on what I do, and they would always tell me stop asking him and him and him. Figure out what works for you and go out there and do it. I think a lot of these guys that run so good, that's just what they've done. They figured out what works for them, and you notice that each year some guy starts to show up in the spotlight because they kind of figured it out for their program and whatnot, and they start to run good. And I can tell you there's a couple teams, big teams, that are literally, I'm I see their setup sheet, I'm like, holy crap, it's to the T from Bicknell, simple, and everyone out here is throw 47 rubbers in a spring and put 150 pounds of wedge in it and put 45 inches of rake in it, something crazy, and they can't figure it out. And you got the guy winning who literally is 30 pounds of wedge and standard ride heights. It's not like that for everyone, but I'm just saying it's definitely trying to keep it simple, figure out what works for you, and then make minimal changes is what's helped me with my racing career start to get top 10s consistently.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you can talk to 10 different people and get 10 different answers, 10 different ideas, It's crazy.
Oh, yeah, especially moving over to coils. This will be my first time on coils and first time on left side and the first time on short rod. So I'm going to be completely new to this. So I literally have only talked to the 2 really good people I trust, where before I was asking 50 people, and now I'm confused. And
I would literally ask, 5-6 people, and then I would, I just kind of, what was the average? What is everybody kind of, and then I wound up doing my own thing anyway, and it was one of those, why did I even bother? Yeah.
I kind of like that, the average. He says 150, he says 30.
So right front spring, I was between 400 and 1,200. So what's the average of that? It was a 6. All right, cool. We finished 3rd 4 weeks in a row.
Yeah, right. You're average. You're right in the middle.
Yeah. Yep. All right, man. So, Kyle, it's been an absolute pleasure, man. I appreciate you coming on here with us. And dude, you're quite the little character, dude. And I think it's awesome. Man. I really do. I appreciate it. I'm gonna hit you up privately because I think I want to. Of course, I'm a bald guy, so I like the wide open concept. I really do. I dig it. And And yeah, I'm gonna hit you up, and I hope you take credit cards or whatever we got to do, and we're gonna make something happen. But I appreciate it, and man, best of luck to you in 2021. I'm sure eventually I'm gonna run into you somewhere. I probably won't have all this, but I'll introduce myself.
You'll still be bald though.
Yeah, that's not going away.
Actually, my co-owner Lance does want to go to Eastern States for a small block show because I know that's
I'll be there.
358.
We'll
so
be there.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the past couple of years I've been the assistant announcer up there with Timmy Pitts and stuff. So
awesome.
Yeah, so I actually been writing. Yeah,
Tim
dude, he's amazing. The guy is one of the best in the business.
Real quick. So there was a red flag, and like I said, the first time ever there, no one knew who I was, nothing. And my sponsor actually, they gave me a sheet to give to announcers, and sometimes announcers would throw it up. It was a 15-minute red flag. What did he do? He talked that whole sheet about me, about my sponsor. Like, it was awesome. It was so cool. And long story short, that race that Tim Hinley helped me, we actually did sponsor that race, the modified race, and he ended up winning it. So it was cool to him helping me then be in victory lane with him. But Tim up on the booth is a pretty cool guy.
Yeah. So out there, you guys out there listening, Kyle, everybody that's out there listening, when you hand sponsor sheets and say, hey, listen, would you mind saying this? We'd like that because 90% of the time we're making shit up.
Yep.
We don't know what we're talking about. You know what I mean? When you get a lull in the program, especially Eastern States, they're doing track prep and stuff like that. Listen, I say it all the time. You know, the best promoter is to be a self promoter, and to get your name out there. And guys, you're just being conceited and you want them to talk about you. Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, I want you to mention me.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And I had a guy. I'm not going to mention any names, but he says, how come you never talk about me? I said, because you're never up front. And then after that, that's all I did. I talked about him all the time, just to break his chops, and that's announcers like that, and do that. Again, you've done it the smart way, man. You've done it the educational way. And that's awesome, man. I applaud that.
Tell you what, if I come down to Orange County, maybe one time I got to come up with a booth with you guys, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Dude, I'm in.
My wife always used to joke with me saying I should be an announcer because when I talk to people when it comes to racing, I'll talk like for hours,
Oh, dude, yeah, absolutely. This is why we're doing it, Yeah. Timmy Pitts calls me, what the hell does he call me? The Amish rabbi. Andy Crane started to call me. Yeah, he calls me the rooftop shuffler. Because when I win, I dance on the roof of the car, and dude, I can feel that energy from you, and I think that's awesome, and that's what makes a really good interview. It makes it easy to talk when you're, I always said a good announcer is somebody who's a fan of racing. You got to be a fan,
That's right.
and dude, you're an awesome, that makes you an awesome announcer. And next time, if you're at Eastern States and shoot me an IM. I'm on Facebook, and I'll definitely talk to Timmy, and we got to get you up in the booth, man. That'd be a good time, brother.
Hey, I got a great idea. We'll get one of those Amish hats with wide open clothing company on it, so you can wear it.
There you go.
Cover up that bald head.
I wore one, 8,000 years ago when I won a championship in Orange County, and I wore one to the banquet. Timmy started calling me the Amish rabbi.
That's awesome.
My name is Joel, and the wintertime I got a beard.
Oh yeah.
So and it just kind of stuck, and I think on the back of the car one year I had like the orange triangle and stuff. So you got to own it, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to own it, and I think that's awesome. I think what you guys are doing is great.
Thank
you. I wish you nothing but the best for 2021, man. We're gonna be watching, dude.
Awesome.
Good luck to you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
guys.
Kyle Demetro, I said that right, So Kyle, we appreciate you being on here, and we'll definitely we'll hit you up here throughout the season. And thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate it.
All right, man. Take care.
See ya.
Dude, I like that kid.
Oh yeah, he's
good dude.
Smooth interview, man.
Man,
cool.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
So, all right, so
that's it for another week.
Yeah, dude, this one ran on quite a bit. Yeah, dude, I love when
it goes over. When you're running flowing smooth like that, and everybody's vibing. It's cool.
Dude, I just I love the fact that I get they call them self-made millionaires. I love the fact that he's a self-made driver. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
That this is what he did, and dude, it's awesome. I think it's great. I think it's absolutely great.
Yeah, and they say he messaged me and
wow, that's awesome.
Come on, yeah, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
He'll be the next promoter, you know? He's the next
Yeah.
Brett Deo out there of selling clothes.
Yeah, dude. So
everybody that's watching there, Gary, there's the shopwideopen.com. Go check it out.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I like it. I think it's awesome. I think it's great. And Tommy Groover, thank you. Dave Allen, appreciate you, man. All you guys telling us good show. Herb Dunn, thank you. And Doug, let's see the new kicks, he says. Oh, yeah. We saw your what? Yeah, you got trailers with those boats, dude?
I'm telling you, man.
So the wife is out there promoting your new shoes, man.
Telling you, right?
That's awesome. Yeah.
Let's just get the boxes. Things are size 18, you know? What do you do with them things?
Do you have to special order that?
Yeah, you know, it's terrible. But I get them at a good price because nobody else wants a damn thing.
Yeah, $150 a piece. That's awesome.
No, I need $24.
Really?
Yeah, anything more than that, I'm not buying them. I'm cheap.
Yeah, man. All right, brother, man. So,
all right, man. We'll see
that's it. That's gonna do
week.
it. And the Daytona 500. That was it was all right.
That sucked.
Yeah, it is what it is.
One for the little guy, though. We'll give him that.
Yeah, good for him. That's cool. Even though I think he caused the wreck, but whatever.
Oh boy.
So, other than that, I think Stewie's still on a roll down in Florida. I think that's all done, right? Speed weeks are all done, so
he's
everything's
actually
cool.
racing. I think Saturday. He's back in the late model again in South Carolina.
Everybody's breaking his chops about it, but let the guy find his feet, man. Relax.
He'll be good. He'll be all right in that thing. You got to give him some time. He'll be all right.
That
guy, he's just a natural wheel man.
Yeah. Other than that, I saw Accord Speedway. They came out with a schedule, so that's great.
You see what Tommy wrote there.
What's that? Tommy, I remember Gary parking next to us at 5 Mile in the infield. The first thing I said, hope we don't piss this dude off. Yeah, man.
Yep.
Yeah. Listen, my cousin Larry drove his car, and Larry's I want to say he's probably 5'9", maybe 5'10". I don't know how he did it, bro. I have no idea.
Yeah, we had to go find mud plugs and everything else for modified guys to fit them in there. It was crazy.
Yeah, man. It was awesome.
Made it work, though.
Yeah,
he didn't die, so he was all right.
So, all right. So again, keep an eye on the website. Of course, we'll let you know who we got coming on. And Gary stepped on a rattlesnake with us.
Oh, that's no shit though. Really.
Really?
We went to Big Diamond a few years back, and I stepped on a damn rattlesnake. Lucky the thing didn't bite me, but I went to the track guy, and I was like, it's rattlesnake. He's like, and the guy at the track came there with a big old 2x4. He's like, yeah, that's a natural thing at this track. Yeah, it was at Big Diamond. Yes. We were parked it was right in the pit area, too. It was crazy.
Yeah, thanks.
And I'm like, damn, that thing bite me. I'm stripping down. I stripped down in my fire suit, and they're calling for hot laps. I couldn't even think right. I'm like, how the hell am I going to go out for hot laps? No,
I'd have went home. Yeah,
it was
not into it.
That was nuts, man.
Yeah, man. So.
I needed all 18 inches of them shoes to cover that thing. Let me just say that. For once, I was happy about the big feet.
Yeah. All right, man. So that's going to do it for us for this week. And again, thanks for everybody who's subscribing and following us and first time on YouTube Live. And dude, it's this has been really, really a lot of fun and really cool. Now, the season we're about a month out, and dude, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, it's going to be good. So once we get going, I'll be able to do interviews at the track and stuff like that. So it'll be cool.
Yeah, man. But all right, guys. We'll see you all next week. Thanks for watching. Gary, I'll talk to you soon.
All right, man. See ya.
All right, later.